What's going on, YouTubers? Welcome to another video. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, like this video. If you're looking to buy anything, whether it's shelving or statues, please use links below as it does help the channel. And let's get to this video. So today we're going to talk about my 5 favorite statue lines or best statue lines. Now, for me, a statue line, ones that are weaker, ones that are lacking in statues or scales and whatnot, and just how much I like the variety and whatnot. So one honorable mention is Dragon Ball Z. It's not in my top 5. I love Dragon Ball Z, of course, but there is a reason I've downsized it severely over the years. It's just not as impressive as stuff like this. I feel like Prime 1 has upped the game, and KD's done a really good job in general. Same with Sume, but they just take forever. But there's a lot of studios out there, a ton of different statues. But at the end of the day, it's just Goku and Vegeta after Goku and Vegeta, and then Gohan, Super Saiyan 2 Kid. It's the same statues over and over, and it just doesn't compete against my other lines. I think the other lines in general, as a whole, are more impressive. What DBZ does have, though, is nostalgia, and it's very colorful. That is, the thing. It's truly not complete either. We're still missing key characters in 1/4 scale like Tien, Chiaotzu, Yamcha. I know they're being made, but as of right now, they're not released. But let's get to the number 5. Number 5 for me is going to be video games, which includes all of Mortal Kombat, all of this, all of my Zelda, any video game statue. Video games are, for me, the greatest joy in life. Nothing trumps a video game. I would take playing God of War versus any vacation this world can offer me. A video game truly is the pinnacle of joy in life for me. And so, of course, video game statues were always a must, and one of the biggest reasons I got into collecting, because how much I love gaming. I game every single day of my life, and I will till I die. But I think Prime 1 is a big contributor. This video game line they've been doing is absolutely amazing, and they got tons more coming out, like the Uncharted, Resident Evil 3, which it looks like Jill's just released. You got The Last of Us, the Mortal Kombat statues by PCS. They're fantastic. I wish Prime 1 would give us the treatment, but for what it is, PCS still did a great job on them, Kayla. I just feel like they've missed a lot of key characters. But I still absolutely love my MK collection, especially, like Goro 1/3, the Scorpion and Sub-Zero bust, to name the 3, like those 3. In general, all these 1/3s are great. But I love video games. I love the variety, having, multiple different, like this represents God of War, this represents Devil May Cry 5, or just Devil May Cry in general. So I just like the variety, the detail, the looks, the realism. They're my favorite. For number 5. Number 4 has got to be Transformers. Transformers are, one of the earlier lines I picked up as well. I picked up the Calibre, Optimus, and Bumblebee, sold them, eventually got that Megatron, and then I got those 2, and then Grimlock, and then eventually started picking up everything. I mean, I don't own it all, but I've stopped where I'm at. I feel like I have pretty much all the key characters I want to represent, 4 and 3. 2 of my favorite movies, 3 being my favorite. But these pieces are definitely the most individually detailed statues out there. As far as just like detailed, nothing beats the Transformers. Plus it has like 2 of the best statues ever created, these 2 grails. And as a whole, I wish my display was more open. It's definitely like, I don't like having them so close. And I feel like these pieces, you could definitely, space this out a lot better. I could space this entire display from like there to there across this whole room, and it'd look better, of course. But, as you know, statue collector's biggest enemy is space. And so I unfortunately have to squeeze it together to get the ones I want. But who knows, maybe someday I'll be able to properly display them. But for me, this is number 4 on my list. Transformers. Then we come to number 3 and 2, which is in this room, Marvel and DC. So here's the thing. I mean, you have way more... I mean, it's all dependent upon movies as well. That's the thing. Because I collect movie, I'm kind of limited to the amount of movies. You know, because DC, there's like, what? I don't know the exact number, but 9 or 10 Snyderverse movies. Marvel, you got like 30 plus. So there's a lot more to work off of. You know, that's why, like, Marvel, you have this magnificent 1/4 collection, where DC, the 1/4 movie DC was garbage. But when it comes to 1/3 scale, Prime One got us covered with their Justice League line, Suicide Squad line, Aquaman. You know, they got us covered. So when it comes to 1/3, you're covered. You know, the Dark Knight Rises, J&D doing DC. Marvel, 1/3, you got like some video games. You got the Elite Creature Collectibles or Cinema Cat, excuse me. And then there's this like new unlicensed studio that's kind of doing like a J&D style 1/3 Trinity and Thanos. And they look pretty decent. Granted, they're quite pricey, and for me, it's too late to try to replace all my Marvel 1/4 with 1/3, so I'm not going down that rabbit hole. So I'm sticking to 1/4 with Marvel. I think the only exception might be a Black Widow. Like, if we got like a J&D Black Widow, I would cope that. Definitely get that. But I'm a bigger fan of 1/3. I feel like it's much better representation. You only need really... I mean, I would say that girls are a little bit of an exception, but in general, you only need one of that character for the most part, although that does become increasingly difficult. But 1 or 2, definitely no more than 2. It's kind of crazy when I see people collecting like 30 1/3 Batmans. But DC does, you know, beat Marvel for me in the statues and the busts. So that puts Marvel at number 3 and DC at number 2. You know, DC, I got a ton of silicone busts, like a ton. And these are definitely, in general, my best busts in this room. The only exception would be Thanos. And Queen has been doing a really good job. They've really been up in their game. I got 3 of their, what I would call more premium silicones, and we're getting Thor. So they definitely have been upping their game, and I really like that. So I'm getting a lot of, you know, Marvel busts more than I have DC. But as of this exact moment, I would still probably say my entire DC line is more impressive than my entire Marvel bust line. Now, the most impressive are obviously those 4. Once we get Thor, I mean, that's what? 5 incredibly impressive silicones, like incredibly impressive, and obviously the best piece of my collection. Where here at DC, we got the Trinity, and then the 3 girls, Aquaman, Joker, and eventually Bale Batman bust. So, yeah, these are all heavy hitter busts. Heavy hitter. So I still might give the edge to DC when it comes to bust. Overall, I don't think the 5 Marvels can knock down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 DC. Yeah, I don't think they can do it. So yeah, DC is my second best line. You know, I think in general, Marvel and DC are the 2 most popular lines out there. You know, at least, you know, definitely 2 of the most popular I see. It's kind of hard to say, but they're definitely very popular. A lot on the comic side as well, which I collected. Some comic got out, just wasn't as impressive for me. The only comics I truly liked were XM Ghost Rider. You know, like that one was very impressive. But for the most part, I'm not a huge fan of the Marvel comic-based stuff. But I think a lot of you could have guessed my favorite line. It's got to be Horror and Monsters. Which is basically, you know, everything from Wolf Predator to him. So everything along this line is my favorite. I think these pieces are most impressive, coolest looking because they're not human. You know, being a creature just in general for me is much cooler looking than a human. You know, and humans can only get so far. So... yeah, the creatures are definitely the coolest looking. Plus, you know, these are extremely high quality. You know, extremely impressive. Massive. I obviously don't have as many silicones. I only got 1, 2 on this wall. Granted, both incredibly impressive. But overall, like, these 1/3s are far superior than any DC 1/3 I have. By far. And that is my second favorite bust now. So Big Chap bust is my second favorite bust now. Only Thanos trumps him. So that right there is just like a huge statement. Plus we got, I mean, if we include Terminator, Arnold, and this setup, I don't know if we can include this. This is kind of its own line. But if Terminator's its own line, it's definitely not in my top 5 because it's just lacking. You know, too little, too few. It definitely is not a top 5 for me. But definitely, you know, Alien and Predator, horror, creatures. I just label it all as horror monsters. Those are my favorite for sure. I think if I had to sell everything in my collection but one line, this would be the line I'd keep. But I would definitely throw Terminator in the mix and just consider it part of the line as creatures. You know, they're creatures, they're Terminators. But yeah, I would say that overall is my top 5 favorite lines in my collection. If I did have to put number 6, it would be DBZ. Like I said, that was the honorable mention. After that, probably Lord of the Rings, Jurassic Park, Monsterverse. Monsterverse only because there's just so few. I guess if you want to call Bruce Lee his own line. Yeah, but there you have it though, folks. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What is your favorite line in my collection or yours? And I'll see you guys on the next video. Do note, Clicker Bust is in customs right now, so he will be arriving any day now. So very, very much looking forward to that. That is one piece that I think can, you know, be a top 3 bust in my collection. I think it's going to be, you know, I don't know if it'll top this. Probably not. But I think it could be number 3 in my collection. No, I think it'll be Thanos, Alien, Clicker Bust. But I could be wrong. We'll see. We will see. See you in the next video. Have a great day.